We are talking the latest Detroit Lions news. Specifically want to get into 3 players in this video. Jameson Williams. Is he getting negative attention that's unnecessary? We're going to talk about the case of Jameson Williams here, give you my thoughts on it. Should we be worried? Should we not be? Is the media just being stubborn? Hendon Hooker is throwing, apparently in some routes. Does he return earlier than expected? And Sam LaPorta is having a great time so far as a Detroit Lion, just winning all his matchups. So we're going to talk about Sam LaPorta. Can he shine more than expected than we initially thought? But before we get into today's video, this video is sponsored by GlassesUSA.com, and they hooked me up with some nice blue light glasses here. And if you go in the description below, you can find exclusive offer to get nearly 70% off of some glasses. Let's get this thing going right now. So with Hendon Hooker here, because I just read an article today that Hooker is throwing passes and there's some routes being done here. Does that mean that he's going to be able to be active to the roster before than we initially think? Because what Dan Campbell said is going to be his redshirt year, and you look at last year, it's kind of the same situation. Jameson Williams, he didn't play for the first 10 weeks, so he's throwing now. Does that mean he's going to return earlier? I don't think that's going to be the case at all. It's much different when a quarterback is throwing the football than it is somebody who is running all the time and running routes like a Jameson Williams. I think they're still going to take their patience with Hendon Hooker, wait till he's fully healed before he is added to the roster. Again, it'll probably be around week 10, something of that time frame when he comes to the Detroit Lions, but it's absolutely awesome to see him throw passes, and I can't wait to see in training camp him just throw it around, because when I was there at training camp watching Jameson Williams, all he did was stand by the coaches, and you weren't seeing anything from him. At least with Hendon Hooker, we can see how he delivers the football with the spiral and, watch his arm and what he can do in practice. So that's going to be fun. They will take their time with him. But the question for this video, the pinned comment is, do you believe that Jameson Williams is unnecessarily being targeted by the media? Y for yes and N for no. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. It's going to be the pinned comment for this video because that's what we're getting into right now. Keep seeing from a lot of outlets Jameson Williams not playing good, not doing well, missing routes, a lot of negativity towards him as of late. And look, I understand it when it comes to the getting suspended for 6 games, but if you look at the NFL, almost, I say 90% of the NFL players didn't even know that rule existed, and he would be one of those players. Now, again, you still have to be responsible for what you do, and I agree he should have known that. But does that mean we should continue to bash on this guy because of that? Because he liked a tweet about having Lamar Jackson as a Detroit Lion, and he's not doing great at practice. First off, let's break this all down. Again, I think it's a little, a 6-game suspension is a little bit high, but you got to know the rules, so I'm not upset that occurred. The tweet liking is ridiculous, in my opinion. He's a young guy, so that shouldn't even be consideration of anything. And him in the missteps with Jared Goff that's taking place right now, it's going to take time to gel. Jameson Williams is a different type of player that we don't have on this roster. Between his speed and his ability to get open, they're just not on target yet. Jared Goff and him, it's going to take a little bit because he's so fast. He's such a difference maker, and it's something that we don't have. It's going to take time. DJ Chark, it took him, folks, halfway through the season last year, more than halfway for him and Jared Goff to get on the same page. It's going to take time. There's going to be confusion. There's going to be missed routes. He did not practice last year in training camp. Any of the OTAs, none of that. He's finally doing that right now. It's going to take some time. I'm not worried. I don't think anybody else should be worried about that. I think that the shade being thrown his way is just a little bit too much if you ask me. And we're going to get back to this here in a second, but first, quick question to you Lions fans. Have you noticed my new glasses? Well, GlassesUSA.com has hooked me up with a new pair of Ototo Jackson Heights blue light glasses to help me in front of my computer screen all day. Using these blue light glasses during screen time helps reduce eye strain, decreases headaches, improving your sleep, and increases productivity. If you already didn't know, GlassesUSA.com is one of the biggest eyewear retailers in the United States, offering thousands of eyeglasses and sunglasses such as Ray-Ban, Gucci, Oakley, and many more. What's best about GlassesUSA.com is glasses start at $39, which are up to 70% off retail prices. If you love these frames, there are crazy exclusive offers waiting for my followers by clicking the links in the description below. They also have a super helpful AR virtual try-on tool to help you find your right frames. Also, shopping online at GlassesUSA.com is a risk-free shopping experience with free shipping and returns, 100% money-back guarantee within the first 14 days. Want some sunglasses too? I also got these Ototo Theseus glasses from GlassesUSA.com. Get the exclusive discount only available to my viewers by clicking on the links in the comments and description box. It's only available for 24 hours. Again, thank you to GlassesUSA.com for sponsoring today's video. Back to Jameson Williams here. And I got to ask you guys the pinned comment. Is he unnecessarily being targeted by the media? Y for yes and N for no. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this one. And I'm going to say yes. And I actually read an article done by Pride of Detroit a little bit yesterday, and it was really nice that they kind of pointed this out, that it feels like a lot of media outlets are targeting him unnecessarily, and it is good to see them stick out and say, hey, I think it's a little bit overblown here, because I 100% concur with them. I think it's overblown. Between his lack of training camp, his lack of practice, his injury from last year, and you put it all together with an offense with Ben Johnson, it was not going to be something that's going to happen really quick. And the adjustment period is going to be taking place, and it's going to take some time. It will get better every single day in training camp, and in preseason, he'll get an opportunity. And when the regular season starts, it will get better once they're just with each other, him and Jared Goff. I do not think this is a Charles Harris thing. I do not think that this is a Charles Rodgers situation or a Mike Williams situation where you're getting a wide receiver that's a bust. I absolutely do not believe it. It is a player that has fantastic hands, is great in his route tree, and is fast, and the quarterback and the wide receiver got to get on the same page. You have to do it. And once that happens, everything will get better. When you're a young player and you're playing football, you don't specifically know everything yet. You're thinking instead of reacting. That's the difference between a player who's been playing in the league for some time. They can just react to what's taking place. They're not thinking about, oh, I got to do this specific route. They already kind of know it. So when the ball is throwing to them, they're reacting to the play. They're reacting to the catch. That's why there's struggles with rookies sometimes. It takes a little bit of time. Once Jameson Williams knows this, and he knows the scheme, and he knows the plays, and he knows more about Jared Goff and vice versa with Jared Goff, that will come through and be perfectly fine if you ask me. Let's go ahead and talk about Sam LaPorta. He is shining, and it needs to be talked about because it looks like he could be a breakout candidate for the Detroit Lions this year offensively. Him and Jared Goff are on the same page already. They are perfectly right now, fitting the football in between the windows, and Sam LaPorta is getting this bad boy and making defenders look foolish. I always say this, I was not one to get a tight end this early, but I absolutely am happy that I'm hearing this. Brad Holmes knows what he's doing. And I say it before, and I'm going to say it again. In Brad Holmes, I trust, and I think we all should trust what he's doing here. Sam LaPorta right now is being a difference maker at a position of tight end in which is very difficult to learn. And if he can come out week one and doing what he's doing right now in OTAs and minicamp, the Lions offense is going to go to the next level, because you're talking about another playmaker for this offense that is full of playmakers. And this is also another reason why you may not need to get a DeAndre Hopkins, because there's just so many balls that can go around. If Jared Goff is going to target Sam LaPorta a lot, what is really getting another wide receiver going to do? It's just going to take away snaps from him. Now, look, if you get a Hopkins, it is going to upgrade the team, and it will make the offense better. But it just shows that Brad Holmes got a player that's going to be a playmaker, regardless of what position. This one's tight end, and Jared Goff's targeting him, and he's going to get a lot of footballs this year. He could be a breakout candidate. He could be a player that gets a ton of yards this year, and may I say, he will be better than TJ Hockenson, because what we're hearing right now is he's getting targeted a lot. Now, TJ Hockenson, when Matthew Stafford wasn't getting targeted as much because we didn't utilize the tight end that much. And last year, it felt like it was off between him and Jared Goff. There'd be games he'd do great, and then he would disappear. But we're hearing with LaPorta right now, there's no disappearance. Jared Goff's targeting him, and he's getting open every single time, and he's really crisp in his routes to get soft hands. And he's definitely a good run blocker. So I think that Sam LaPorta could be a breakout candidate for the Detroit Lions and give the Lions another weapon that we really necessarily didn't know that we would have, that would contribute this early. So I'm loving what I'm hearing, and I think this is great news for the Detroit Lions season. I absolutely do. We got videos dropping here every single day. Tomorrow, One Pride Podcast, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Get ready for that. Hit that notification bell, the like button, and subscribe. And again, huge shout out to GlassesUSA.com for sponsoring this video. You can find the exclusive offer for getting eyeglasses for cheap. We're on 70% off in the description below. Check it out. It is some good stuff. With that said, folks, adios.